One is asking which expression is equivalent to this. So I'm going to show you one method which relies on using the box. And I'm going to use another method similar to one we did earlier where I'm going to give k and m certain values and compare the values of each expression after I substitute in those different values of m and k. I'll show you that in a second. First thing, let's write down our expression. It was 2k squared minus 3m times 3k minus 4. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up our box and multiply these two things using that strategy. Of course, if you like to use FOIL or just advanced distribution as I like to describe it, where I distribute this twice and I distribute this to everything in the other parentheses, that's naturally a very valid method, probably one that your future teachers would prefer you to use. But if it works, there's nothing wrong with it, so you might as well use what works for you. I'm going to multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. K times k squared. I add the exponents when I multiply. So I'm going to add that invisible 1 exponent with the 2 exponent. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And k times m, those are different bases. So I'm not going to add their exponents. I'm just going to write km. Then 2 times negative 4, negative 8. There's no k to multiply with, so I'm just going to leave the k squared alone. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12, and then just an m, just like the k squared situation. So you'll notice here, there are no like terms. K cubed and k squared, those aren't the same. Km is not the same as m, so when I write this all out, it's just going to be written as a bunch of terms just adding up next to each other. Make sure you keep your signs straight, but this is essentially our answer. They might have put it in a different order, but I can see the only one with 4 terms is the only one that matches. Once again, just like an earlier problem, if you want to test your answer, or maybe this is the only method you've got remembered whenever you take the actual test, this is another way to either check your work or, if it's multiple choice, find the answer. Assign a value for k and m. It's going to output a certain value for this expression because it plugged in k, it was 2, and it plugged in m as 4, and then it did all the math. What you need to do from here is just check. Each answer choice, did it match? Nope. Did this one match with the value of the original? Almost, but not quite. Then let's do 6k cubed minus 8k squared minus 9km plus 12m. I'm going to assume that's what it says, but let's just double check. Yep, plus 12m. So we definitely have our answer here. This is matching. I do want to point out that this is probably best as a method to check, but it will give you the answer one way or the other. So we've got our answer, both methods.